So before we do this artwork, we will have discussed with students already Brett Whiteley's work, and particularly his use of symbols and colour. We will have also already looked at a video of his wife speaking about his artwork. As you can see here, I'm doing a similar technique to Brett Whiteley using one background colour. So I know in Brett Whiteley's artwork, Lavender Bay at Dusk, he uses the colour blue. I'm choosing to use the colour red. But you could also encourage children to use other bright colours such as blues, oranges, mainly the primary colours. So I'd be encouraging students to use blue, red, and so now as you can see, I'm just finishing off painting my background, that's one colour. Obviously these will need to dry. So as they dry, you might want to talk to the kids about Australia and what they think represents Australia. Maybe what they think Brett Whiteley was trying to represent Australia as. Having all these conversations to scaffold children's pieces inspired by Brett Whiteley. So in this artwork, we also really want to incorporate how the children perceive Australia. So for me personally, I perceive one of the main aspects as a part of the Australian identity to be family and beach and going out for barbecues. So that's why for my collage piece of my piece inspired by Brett Whiteley's Dusk at Lavender Bay, I've chosen to incorporate a picture of me and my sister. As you can see, I'm just cutting out this picture. Now that I've finished doing my collage, what I'm going to do is glue my picture down, as you can see. I just want to note that even though I've chosen to do one significant picture, children don't have to do this. They can also use one big picture and a variety of significant things in the background. So for example, if a child was to do a picture of them at the beach, they might do one big significant picture and then a whole number of little pictures of the background surrounding the beach. Maybe there might be some kayaks in the water. What I'm doing now is I'm just using Brett Whiteley's use of symbols to create some little boats. And similarly to the way that he does his works, I'm just using one colour. So I'm just using really simple pastel drawings, little blue boats using pastels. Similarly to the way that Brett Whiteley does his Dusk at Lavender Bay, he uses really simple symbols within the water to create the landscape. As you can see here, I'm also adding some different colours. Children can do this if they want to create it. It's really important that it's made the children's drawing, so if they wish to experiment with colour, they can. It's just important that these artworks do incorporate Brett Whiteley's techniques, which is mainly the use of background colour and little symbols to represent a landscape. Because my focus is the beach, I've also incorporated some sand. This also incorporates the use of perspective. So it kind of creates a bird's eye background, kind of looking down at the ocean, which is also another technique that Brett Whiteley uses. Dusk at Lavender Bay does use a bird's eye perspective. I'm also incorporating some palm trees, similar to the way that Brett Whiteley does. That's one of the symbols that he uses in his work. Another palm tree. As you can see, I've tried to use a few different colours. I just think it makes the artwork much more interesting. And you can also speak to students about what using multiple colours adds and the different types of colours you're using. So maybe primary colours using blues, and then secondary colours using oranges and using greens. So this is my final piece, done and dusted. As you can see, I've used symbols and colours similar to Brett Whiteley, and I've also incorporated how I perceive Australia. So really that's what we're trying to do, to demonstrate to students that art should communicate an artist's beliefs, and also we're trying to show students different techniques that different Australian artists use.